In today's tutorial, we will be making a beautiful lacy circular shawl from 1908. This is just vintage crochet, and this is the Edwardian era. So let's get right into the materials we're going to need. It calls for a Columbia Zephyr yarn, and whenever I looked that up online, I did find a few on Ravelry and on eBay, and it looks a lot like this. It's about a 2-weight or lace weight yarn, and you'll recognize this from the 1935 gown that we made. So this is a bamboo cotton from Yonky Monkey. I'll leave links down below for all this. It's not affiliated or anything. It's just links to their store. And it says to use a bone or amber hook number 6, and coincidentally, it is basically a J or 6mm hook in modern hook sizes. It's a pretty big hook with a pretty small yarn, but this is going to be a very lacy shawl. Here's a picture of the shawl right here. So that is what we're going to make. It's very lacy, very flowy, and loose stitches. I love it. And I left a poll, a community poll, as to which color do we want to see. Now, they call for white and pink to be used, with pink being the accent color, but I asked you guys pink or blue, and blue won. Thank goodness, too, because I really, really wanted to use the blue. So let's get right into the pattern. Okay, they want us to start off with a chain 4, and we're going to work a total of 24 modern US double crochet into the ring. So you're going to chain 4 and slip stitch into your first chain to form your ring. You're going to chain 3 that will count as 1 of 24. So basically crochet 23 more into the ring. Try to work your stitches loose, even though it's already loose because it's such a thin yarn and such a big hook in comparison. I am keeping my tension like this. It is practically, it practically falls off my finger. It's so loose. So keep your stitches super loose, because this pattern is going to rely on the weight of itself to draw these stitches down and create the added length needed. So you can see I'm working my stitches extremely loose. If you watch how easily it flows through my fingers, it is just super loose. And here, this is how loose it is. Very, very loose. Barely any tension at all. Okay, guys, I will be back when we have a total of 24 worked into the ring. Okay, ready to close this first round, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of our starting chain 3. Then chain 3 for a double crochet, and into the same stitch, work 1 double crochet. Now, right here, you see we have our first starting chain, and right next to it is our first official, like, real double crochet made. Between those 2 stitches, work 2 double crochet, loosely, of course. Let me try that again. And this is what we're going to do between, pardon my dog, between every stitch around. So between every double crochet, every 2 double crochet, you will work 2 double crochet. So the next space over, the space between the 2 doubles, work 2 double crochet. And yes, this will overpack the ring, and it will cause a lot of waves and ripples, but that is by design, as you will see here in a little bit. So just between the double crochets, that space, we're almost treating it like a chain 1 space. There we go. All the way around. I will meet back up with you when we get back around to the beginning. This is how it should be looking. Very, very loose. Be right back. Okay, now we're ready to close off round 2, and you'll see there are a lot of dramatic waves in there. So the top of your starting chain 3 slip stitch. Every round like this will start the same way with a chain 3 and a double crochet into the same stitch. Now we're going to work increases, and we're going to work increases for a total of 8 rounds, not 8 more rounds. So counting round 1 and round 2, 8 more rounds, not 8 rounds, sorry. So once again, here we have our starting chain right down here from the previous row and our first double crochet next to it. Work 1 double crochet only into that space. Now, between the next 2 double crochet over, you'll work 2 double crochet into that space. In fact, all of the stitches in this pattern are going to be worked in the spaces between stitches. We won't be working into the tops of any stitches. So the next space over only gets 1 double crochet. And then the next space over gets 2 double crochet. So this is your pattern repeat all the way around, where you work 1 double crochet into the space, and then the next space over gets 2. Then the next space after that will get 1, and then the next space after that will get 2. Okay? Just like this. 1, 2, 1. I will meet back up with you when we get back around to the beginning. Okay, ready to close up round 3, 1, 2, and 3, into the 3rd chain. There we go. And every round starts the same way with a chain 3 and a double crochet into the same stitch. Now we are going to increase again. We're going to increase every round until we finish round 8. So some of you more experienced crocheters probably already know how to do this. So the next space down here, of course, our starting chain 3, our first double crochet, is going to get 1 stitch, 1 double crochet. The next space over will now get 1 double crochet, and that's going to be right inside of the 2 together. Then the next space after that will get 2 double crochet into the same space. And then this will be the repeat of 1 into the next space, 1 into the next space again, and then 2 into the next space after that. And then the next round, it will be 3. See, here we have our 2 groups right here. Is our 2 groups of 2 double crochet into the same space, and we have 2 double crochet between them. The next round we work, there will be 3 double crochet worked between the groups. Then there will be 4, then 5, and then ultimately 6. When you have 6 double crochet between your groups of 2 into the same stitch, that should be your last 8th round of this portion here. Okay, so let me show you. By the way, it's overpacked and not flat. But when you fold it in half, like this, and bring these 2, like Pac-Man sides together, it creates a perfect circle, like that. And this is how the shawl is meant to be worn. This portion right here will go at your neck. So that's how it's meant to be worn, folded over like that. Isn't that neat? And so that's why it's overpacked. It's overpacked by design. It's very, very cute. And as this gets bigger, you'll see this could be used for so much more than just a shawl. If you're not particularly keen on wearing shawls, you can use this as a very, very special heirloom circular baby blanket. You can also change the colors, make it more Christmassy by using scarlets and golds and hunter greens. And this can be a beautiful tree skirt as it grows and gets bigger. So there's a lot more you can do with this one pattern than just a 125-year-old fashion shawl. So I am going to leave you with that bit of homework where you're going to work more rounds of increases and you will stop. You'll know you're done when you have completed the round that has 6 double crochet between the groups of 2 double crochet into the same stitch. Okay? That should be a grand total of 8 rows starting from your very first row down here. I'll be back. Okay, here we are at the end of this portion of the shawl, and what I have here is there's my first 2 double crochet into the same stitch, my next 2 double crochet into the same stitch, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 double crochet in between them. Okay, so we're going to slip stitch into the top of our starting chain 3, but we're going to complete the slip stitch with the blue or whichever color that you chose to go with. And this is how we're going to change colors. Just tighten that one up right there. Then you will chain 1 and work a single crochet into the very same stitch. Now you will chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you're going to skip your very first space, which is going to be that same space we've been working in, where it is between your starting chain 3 and your first double crochet. Skip that, and into the next space over, work a single crochet. Chain 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again, you're going to skip the next space, and then in the next space after that. Let me say that again. In the next space after that. I got tongue-tied there for just a moment. Work your single crochet. This is the repeat. All the way around, you will chain 5. And every other space, you will work a single crochet. So skip the next space, and in the next one over, work your single crochet. And I would go ahead and put a stitch marker into the top of that starting single crochet right at the base of our starting chain 5. There are no instructions in this pattern how to close these rounds out. So we'll be using a way that is a bit more familiar with this type of crochet with working the fishnetting. So here's how the instructions read. With pink, of course, we went with blue. With pink, make a chain of 5 stitches and 1 single crochet in every other space. Then work 2 rounds of chain 5 and 1 single crochet in every other space. And that's it. Then it moves on to switching to white and working our shells. So it doesn't give any instruction how to close these rounds out and then start the next round up. But I got you. So meet back up with me whenever we get back to the beginning, and we will close the round out and move on to the next one up. Okay, here we are ready to end this round. So we will chain 2, yarn over, and into that first single crochet where the stitch marker is, work a double crochet. There we go. And that puts us right at the top of that last loop. Now we just chain 5, 3, 4, and 5, and into the very first loop, make your single crochet. I'm going to put the stitch marker into the top of that double crochet because we're going to work into that the next round. Well, not the next round, but when we're ready to close this round and move on to the next round, sorry. Then you chain 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and work a single crochet into the next loop over. 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So work like this all the way around, and then work another round just like this. When you get to this point right here, you will chain 2. When you've worked your last single crochet into this last loop, you will chain 2 and work a double crochet into the top of this double crochet right here. And then complete working one more round of this. You want a total of 3 rounds of this fishnetting. Come on back whenever you are ready to finish your 3rd round. Okay, let's go over that join one more time because we've only got one more round of this netting to work, this fishnetting. So I will remove the stitch marker, and it is right there at the top of that double crochet. Let me get you down in here. We're going to chain 2, yarn over and into the top of that double crochet, work a double crochet. There we go. Then you just chain 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's how it should be looking. Then work your first single crochet in the next loop over and put that stitch marker back, because we're going to use it one more time, that stitch. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and work your single crochet. All right, guys, I'll be back when we are done with the third round of the netting. Okay, now we are ready to close this round off. So we will chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And just like before, we're going to color change. So we are going to work a slip stitch, but we're going to complete our slip stitch with the white. So into the top of that double crochet, start your slip stitch, but pull the white through to finish it. There we go. Now without chaining, slip stitch into the first chain 5 space over, but draw up on that loop just a little bit. I found this way it's better. That way you're not working your first double crochet way off to the side while the other 3 are over here in the middle. Then work your first chain 3, that counts as a double crochet, and work 3 more double crochet for a total of 4. 2, 3, and 4. And then without chaining, work 4 double crochet again into the next chain space over, and this is the repeat all the way around. Again, without chaining, jump over to the next chain 5 space and work 4 double crochet. This is how everything should be looking. Okay, just continue to do this all the way around. I'll meet back up with you at the beginning. And now we are ready to close this round up. So you will slip stitch into the top of your starting chain 3. Now for the next round, and actually for the next total of 3 rounds, every round is going to start the same way, just like we're about to do it now. We just joined into the top of our starting chain 3. Now we will slip stitch into the next 2 stitches over. So that was the first stitch and then the second stitch. Now you have 2 double crochet left. In the space between them, slip stitch into that space, and we're going to work 4 double crochet. You're going to start with a chain 3 for your first double crochet, then work 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Oops. And then without chaining, you're going to do the same thing. We're going to skip over these first 3 double crochet, and into the space between the last 2, start working your next fan stitch. 4 double crochet. 2, 3, and 4. Again, we are going to skip over the first 3 and into the space between the last 2, we work our next fan stitch. So this is the repeat. Not only is this the repeat all the way around, but this is going to be the repeat for another 2 rows just like this, following this row. So we want a total of 3 rows of this, not counting this last row we just did, not that one. Just these. So you're going to do this, and then another one, and then 1 more. Okay, and they're all going to start the same way, where you slip stitch into the top of your starting chain 3, then slip stitch all the way over into the chain space between the last 2 double crochet, and continue to work that way. It creates a very interesting effect, sort of a spiral. Oh, I just stretched that one out a little bit. So here we go into the space right here. And we work our 4 double crochet. 3, and 4. Then we do it again, skip all of this and into that space. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, guys, I will be back after I have worked a total of 3 rows of this stitch. I'll be back. Okay, now we are ready to close this out, and you can see we have a total of 4, but that's because we're counting our very, very first row. So we have the 3 right here that we just worked. That is how it should be looking so far. So let's close this up, and I think let's fold it up and take a look at our progress so far. And we're going to stick with the white for now. So we're not changing color yet. So there we go. I just want to check this out. So let me pan my camera out real quick. Okay. Let's get this all unfolded. Oh, this is so precious. I thought of something so sweet for a baby blanket with this. If you were unsure, like, well, you wanted to make this for a baby blanket instead of a shawl, because it does come from a fashion that is 125 years old, so it's not exactly in vogue at the moment, this particular type of shawl. That doesn't mean we can't bring it back, but you could do this, like make the full shawl so it'll be bigger than this. Then you can cleverly stitch all of this here together and stitch the outer seams together, and this would be a nice and thick and lacy and special and unique heirloom baby blanket. How precious would that be? And you can do pastel greens and oranges. You don't have to stick to the traditional baby blue and baby pink, but see how you can just stitch this together like that. And oh, that would be so special. But let's look at it as far as a shawl goes. Okay, then we fold it like this. And there you go. It is taking shape, and this is the part that goes around your neck. So over the next 4 rounds, we're basically going to be working these stitches the exact same way. We're going to be working shell stitches again. The only difference is we now have 6 stitches to work in a shell instead of 4. And so the next round up, whenever you slip stitch over to your last 2 double crochet to work in the space between them, you'll just have a couple extra double crochet to slip stitch over. So here we go. These are always going to start the exact same way as we've been doing the last 3 rows. Slip stitch your way over to that chain, I always want to say chain space. Slip stitch your way over to that space between the last 2 double crochet, chain 3, and work 6 loose double crochet. Now, you don't necessarily, if you're watching this ahead of time, you don't necessarily have to work loose double crochet. You can work the extended double crochet, or even a treble crochet would work. If you don't really feel like working with such a loose tension, if it bothers you to work this loose, you can get around that, no problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. There we go. And then just like before, we jump over these and into the space between the last 2 stitches. We work our 6 double crochet. Try that again. All right, I will see you guys at the end of our 4 rounds of 6 double crochet shells. See you then. Okay, now we're going to close this round off. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of these 6 double crochet shells, and we're going to change colors at this point. So just like we have been, we're going to start our slip stitch with the white, but complete it with the blue, or whichever color that you're using. There we go. With the pink, work 2 rounds of 6 double crochet shell, just like we have been. So we're going to continue to work the same stitch we've been working for the last 4 rows, just with a different color. So let's go ahead and slip stitch our way over there. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now into that space between the 2 double crochet, and we work our first shell. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's actually 4, so I'll call that 4, 5, and 6. Jump over to the next space between the last 2 double crochet and repeat. So we will do this for 2 rows in the blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Jump on over and start again. 2, 3, 4, oops, 5, and 6. All right, I will be back after I finished this round and another round in the blue. Okay, now we're ready to close this round up, and it's going to be much of the same except for we are switching back to white. So again, we start our slip stitch. 1, 2, let's see, there it is. Start our slip stitch with the blue, finish it with the white, and we're going to do 2 more rows with white. Then we will do our last row. So almost done. And we slip stitch over. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then slip stitch into the space between the last 2 double crochet and make 6 double crochet total, so this counts as 1, so make 5 more and carry on. So just 2 more rows in the white, and then we will work our last row. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I'm going to continue working this all the way around, and I will be back when we are ready to work the last round. Okay, now we're going to work our last round. I've already joined and slip stitched my way over, as we have been doing this whole time, because we are going to do 1 more round of shells, just 1, but this is going to be a bit different. So we're going to work at 8 double crochet into the shell, but on the 4th double crochet we're going to work a picot, and I'm going to show you how I work my picots. You do not have to work them the way I do, just going to show you how I do mine. So of course we start with our chain 3, that makes 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I will chain 3. So to work this, what I do is put my hook into the top of the stitch like this, and then also into that little sidebar just below, right there. So it will look like this, into the top of our stitch, and then also into that sidebar just below it. Pull up a loop, and instead of working a slip stitch, we work a single crochet. Just makes for a little bit of a bigger picot. And I also find that it works up a little faster. Then we work 4 more double crochet. That's 3 and 4, well, and 4. There we go. Then in this space right here between the shells, work a single crochet. You will just yarn over and start working your first 4 double crochet. Let me try that again. Here we go. Start working your first 4 double crochet of your 8 double crochet shell. That's 3 and 4. Then work your picot, chain 3, Then going into the top of the stitch and then down the side, pull up a loop and work a single crochet. Then work your last 4 double crochet of the shell. 2, 3, and 4. Then work a single crochet right here in this space between the shells. Then we do it all over again. 2, 3, and 4. I'll show you that picot one more time. 1, 2, 3. Then I go into the top of the stitch and down into the side, pull up a loop, and work a single crochet, sorry. Then work 4 more double crochet. 2, 3, and 4. And then we work our single crochet. And this is what it should look like. So when you get around to the end, work your last single crochet right here, and then just join with a slip stitch at the top of your starting chain 3, cut and weave in your ends. When you see me again, I will show you some reveal shots.